Hi everybody, welcome back. Brad from bradnewton.tv. Thought I'd spend a few minutes to talk about my fitness model journey. The last 8 months doing 5 competitions. My last one being a few days ago here in Thailand for the world titles. In 8 months I've done 5 shows, and so I thought I'd spend the next few minutes to talk about things I've learned in my whole contest prep journey. So if you're watching this, you're looking at being a fitness model competitor, and or you are a fitness model competitor, you might get some interesting value from this video and everything that I've experienced in the last 8 months or so. So I've got a few things written down here in front of me. So look, to be honest with you, my first fitness model competition was in March this year at 2017, and it was the first time I ever stepped on stage. I didn't know what to expect, and I was a little bit nervous, but I was mostly excited. And I never knew in a million years that I would ever go as far as to compete at the world titles. I said to myself that, you know, I just want to do one competition and that is it. I'm not going to do anything else. One comp, bang, that's it. And then 5 competitions later, I'm in Thailand, you know, representing my country. So it's pretty exciting. So I've got a few things written down. So if you're looking at competing yourself, then expect that, you know, it's going to be tough. There are going to be tough times, you know, like it's not always going to be easy. Like the dieting is strict, the training is strict. There'll be times when you have urges and you'll have the desire to binge eat. You know, for me, there were many nights where, you know, I felt the urge to go and eat whatever the hell I wanted. Most times I was able to contain myself, but there were times when I was like, fuck this meal plan, I'm just gonna go and have chocolate brownies, I'm gonna have ice cream. And you know, if you follow my journey so far, you'll see that I actually did go out and I did have chocolate brownies and I did have ice cream. And there were times where I did have Quest bars and that wasn't on the meal plan. So expect that there will be times like that. But I'm here to tell you right now that if you do slip up, that it's not the end of the world. You know, what matters the most is getting back on track again, you know, and just scrubbing off that, riding off that day, moving on, and just, you know, keep your chin up and move forward. The worst thing you can do is you can binge eat and then just completely fall off the rails and never get back on the rails again. That's where people go wrong. It's not that you fall off by eating whatever you want and binge eating and that kind of thing, is that most people never get back on the rails again. So I'm here to tell you right now that, you know, for me, I fell off the rails many times in the last 8 months, and you know, I still managed to get 5th place in the world titles as a fitness model competitor in the novice division. So, you know, if someone like me can fuck up and still get to where I am now, then you shouldn't be too concerned about fucking up yourself every now and again. Willpower. So this is one thing that, you know, a lot of people think, well, there's no way I can be a competitor, there's no way I can lose weight because I just don't have the willpower. Willpower is something that you develop over time. And, you know, years and years ago when I'd see somebody say no to sweets or no to chocolate, I used to think, how can you do that? That's crazy. Like I used to eat everything. And if someone offered me something, I had to eat it. And when you start saying no, you know, every now and again, you get better at resisting the urges, you get better at saying no, you get better at, you know, your willpower muscle gets stronger. And willpower is literally just a muscle in your mind, and the more you say no to things, the better you get at saying no at things. And you know, it just gets better and better. So don't be too concerned if you feel like you don't have the willpower to continue forward on a weight loss plan or a meal prep, you know, contest prep diet, because I'm here to tell you right now, if somebody that never had willpower, you know, years ago, my willpower is pretty darn good now. Not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. This is something that you develop over time. The next thing as well is feeling lonely and isolated. Now, as a fitness model competitor, there are times when you feel, you know, you feel lonely, you feel isolated, you feel like nobody understands you, you feel like everybody is trying to derail you because you're on this meal plan and people are like, oh, just have this donut, just have this biscuit, just have this cookie, just have this, you know, and you're trying your best to stay on track. But there are colleagues around you or the friends around you are trying to they care about you, but it sometimes feels like they don't, and it doesn't help when they're trying to, give you all this, all this food, and you're trying your best to stay on track, and they're just making it a little bit harder for you. So there are times when you have to isolate yourself from people that are not on a weight loss plan or a contest prep diet or that kind of thing. Or you have to, maybe surround yourself with other people that are also going through the contest prep diet as well. And it makes that process easier. If you're looking at doing a fitness model competition, it's actually a good idea to join a group of people that are going through the same journey as you, because you have that mutual understanding. When I first started my contest prep journey early this year, I had a coach, but I wasn't doing it as part of a group. And so it was much harder because I didn't have anybody else to bounce my feelings and that kind of stuff off, except my coach. So I highly suggest, if you're doing a contest prep for the first time, to do it with a group of people that are also going through the journey as well. That way you don't feel as isolated from the world. So I spent a lot of times in my bedroom at night on my own, talking to the camera to share my thoughts and my feelings and that kind of thing. But yeah, there are lonely times, and it is tough sometimes, but you'll get through it, and you will find people that are on your level and are totally going through what you're going through. So that's what I suggest. And the next one is not feeling good enough. So I think, honestly, the fear of not feeling good enough is something that shows up all the time in life. In my experience, as a fitness model competitor, you always question yourself. You look yourself in the mirror and you're going, I don't think I'm lean enough. I don't think I'm, or you're in the gym lifting and I don't feel like I'm strong enough, and this guy's stronger than me. And I think it's natural and normal to feel like you're not good enough at times. And particularly as a fitness model competitor, you sometimes feel like you're not lean enough. And so when you get ready for a contest prep, when you get ready for a competition, there's always this thing of like, am I going to be ready for the stage? Am I going to be lean enough? That's what I find kind of the biggest thing that ran through my mind at every competition. And I think you'll never ever be ready, and you'll never ever be good enough. But I just think that, I don't have a solution for that. I don't have a solution for how to overcome that. You just have to be prepared for it, and that it's completely normal if you go through the self-doubt, standing in front of the mirror, pulling at your skin, going, I'm a little bit fat here, I'm a little bit loose or soft here. It's completely normal to go through that as a fitness model competitor. Even, the best of the world go through that. So it's completely normal. I don't have a solution for it except to say that it's completely normal. So what else is there? So a few things as well, so I highly suggest that you get a coach. If you're doing this for the first time as a fitness model competitor, I do suggest that you get a contest prep coach, especially if you've never competed before, because they know the ropes, they know the journey, they've probably been through it before themselves, and so they can make your journey a lot easier and a lot more pain-free. I know there are people that do it alone, they don't have a coach. I know that 70 to 80% of competitors that do fitness model competitions do have a coach. It's not to say that you won't succeed. There are people that I competed with, they beat me. Last couple of shows, they didn't have a coach, they did it on their own. But I just think it makes it a lot more challenging, because especially if you're going through peak week or the last 2 or 3 weeks leading up to the show, it's very hard to notice the changes in your own physique, because your physique can change quite a lot over the final 2 or 3 weeks of a show. And if you see yourself in the mirror every single day, it's very hard to see those changes in your own mind's eye. When you have a coach, they can see the small changes and that kind of thing. So, and also as well, you have this self-doubt show up a lot more in the last 2 weeks of the show, and your coach is probably the person that understands the most what that feels like. And it's great to have someone there that you can bounce your feelings off. So I do suggest that you get a coach. There are different coaching styles out there. So if you're looking at getting a coach for contest prep, be sure to ask the prospective coach what their coaching style is like. Every coach has a slightly different approach. Some coaches are more aggressive with how they diet their clients. Some coaches, they diet their clients very aggressively and sometimes very unhealthily as well. And, I do recommend that you do your research. If you've been dieting and training for a number of years, it's not a bad idea to get a coach that kind of follows the same or similar principles that you've been following yourself for those few years you've been training for. So I've made a lot of dietary slip-ups along the way. I think I've talked about that. The people are amazing. Okay, so, to be honest with you, I've won, first place, second, third place, the world titles, fifth place, and I've done really well in my first season of competing, and qualifying for the world titles and that kind of thing. But to be honest with you, it's nice to win medals, but at the end of the day, for me, the biggest thing is the people you meet along the way. It's the experiences you have. I actually am wearing the badge right now, which is ICM, which is the federation that I've been competing under. And ICM stands for I Compete Natural, because I'm a natural fitness model competitor, so I don't take steroids, never have taken steroids, and all the shows are drug tested. You see pee into a cup. So it's a natural federation, and the people in that federation are incredible, and everybody's on the same level, and everyone's awesome, and it's a great family vibe. And so more than the medals are the people that you meet along the way. So it's been an incredible part of the journey, and I think means more to me than winning any medal or any prize or any certificate. So that's one big thing I've learned in this journey as being a fitness model competitor. I also learned a few things as well about my body. I've been dieting and training for a number of years, so I didn't just wake up and go, I want to do a fitness model competition. I'd already been training and dieting for a number of years. So the fitness model journey, the last 8 months, has taught me a lot about my physique, my personal physique, my body, and how it changes with different types of tactics. So deplete and load. So it's a dietary tactic of depleting your body of all carbs and then loading your body with carbs. So just Google it. So deplete and load is something that I've learned. Infrared saunas. So that's one thing I've been doing during this comp prep journey. Water loading and Epsom salt baths. So all these things you can just Google. I'll leave them in the description below. And getting on stage, more confidence. So look, to be honest with you, I never stepped on stage before in my life. I've got more confidence than what I ever had. Being a fitness model competitor, it was a little bit nerve-wracking at first, getting on stage for the first time. You don't know what to expect. It's completely normal. I was more excited than nervous. I was actually quite nervous getting on stage for the world titles a few days ago, because I was getting up on stage and I walked up on stage on my own and had to do the poses on my own, on stage, front back, 3 times, and then walk off stage. So that was a little bit nerve-wracking, and I felt more nerves during that routine than what I ever did in the previous 4 shows. But it's interesting, because when you go through these periods of feeling nervous, that kind of raises the bar a little bit, and you feel a little bit more confident in yourself as a result of going through those little nervous periods. And I always encourage people to do it, because it will push you outside your comfort zone. And I honestly believe that the confidence you build from getting on stage half naked translates to other areas of your life. And I think it just makes you a better person. So that's one thing as well, more confidence. The shaving and the spray tanning process. So look, never really shaved my body as a dude in my life. So that was one thing I had to overcome, was the psychology of having to shave my body and shave everything off, and then wearing a spray tan, like, you know, as a guy, I never had a spray tan in my life, and then had to get a spray tan, and not just one spray tan, but multiple spray tans for the stage. So that was pretty interesting to have to get a spray tan. So yeah, just a few things you got to do when you're a fitness model competitor. Posing practice. Now, if you're looking at competing for the first time, you will need to learn how to pose on stage. It does sound challenging. To be honest with you, it is only challenging if you don't practice. For my first show, I practiced every day. And then for every subsequent show, I practice maybe a few times a week just to brush up and improve. So I highly recommend everybody that's looking at competing for the first time to, you know, practice your posing. You have to practice your posing and practice frequently. A lot of guys, they wait until like a week out from the show, then they start their posing practice. It's probably the worst thing you can do. You really need to practice your posing, you know, every single day for several months leading up to the show. So even if you have like the best physique and you're like 7% body fat and you have like the serratus muscles and whatever, and you have the best smile on the planet, if you cannot pose for shit, then you're gonna suck on stage. Like, that's the honest truth. So it's best to go and see a posing coach, somebody that is familiar with the posing for that particular federation. So every federation is a little different with what they expect of you on stage. So find a posing coach that is familiar with that particular federation's posing requirements, what the judges are looking for, and then take a camera in, film the posing class. That's what I did, and then watch that video over and over again, and then film yourself practicing the posing, and then watch yourself practice in front of the mirror, and then practice without the mirror, and that way you get better and better at practicing your posing without the mirror, without seeing yourself in the mirror, and then yeah, just keep practicing. And I've actually beaten people on stage without being the leanest person on stage, but I've actually beaten people not because you know I was leaner than them, but because I was able to pose better than them. So yeah, you can have the best physique, but if you don't know how to show it off on stage and bring out the best in your physique, then you won't place as well. Doing a worldwide competition. I don't know why I wrote that in. So look, yeah, so right now I'm in Thailand. I just finished the world titles a few days ago. Never expected in a million years to be competing on the world stage as a fitness model competitor. As I said to you before, this journey started with me in March competing for the first time. And I said to myself, I'd only do one competition. And here I am now sitting in front of the camera talking about how I've done 5 competitions, and I'm now in Thailand representing my country. So it's pretty crazy, to be honest. I still can't believe it. Getting blood tests. So look, I had a blood test done because people were on my back about, oh, you're unhealthy and you're not looking after your body, and you know, because I was on strict dieting and that kind of thing. So I actually went out and got a blood test done about 2 weeks out from my 3rd show, and the blood test came back completely normal. Vitamin D, B12, B6, thyroid function, kidney function, all my organs are functioning perfectly. I actually put a video up of my blood test results, a previous video on my YouTube channel, just to prove all the naysayers wrong, basically. Dating girls. So I actually tried to date a few girls during my contest prep journey. Very tough. I talk more about this in previous videos about, you know, how I kind of slipped off the dietary bandwagon a little bit when I went through that journey of dating girls. I talk about that as well in previous videos. I also got food poisoned. I got food poisoned a couple of days ago. Like, I threw up, and I was, I've been back and forth to the toilet. So that was yesterday, actually. I feel much better today. I slept like 15 hours. And then, yeah, a couple of months ago, I food poisoning again. And then also my family, last thing on my list. My family don't even know that I compete. One of the things I've noticed with fitness model competitors, seems to be a common theme, is that family members or close friends don't necessarily accept what we do as fitness model competitors. It's very common, like, for family to ostracize you or to just not not validate you or not support you. For me personally, my family don't even know that I'm competing. Actually, I haven't even told my family that my family don't even know that I'm doing any kind of fitness model competition. They don't know that I've represented my country. They don't know anything. I know it sounds really sad. I talk about this in other videos, but the truth is that in the past, my family just never really supported, never really praised what I did. As a pilot, graduating university, my family never really got behind me and was like, yeah, man, good on you for doing it, and good on you for getting your pilot's license. So I never really, shared this journey with them. I just kept it to myself and my YouTube fan base and just people that I'm competing with know what I'm doing, but I haven't really shared this journey on Facebook or that kind of thing. And I speak to other fitness model competitors. We all go through the same thing. There are just people in our family that just tell us that we're crazy and we're too extreme, and that we're, some competitors are like, yeah, look, my friends say that I'm setting a bad example for my children. And so yeah, that's why fitness model competitors, usually we stick together as a group and we kind of talk and we have our own little cliques, because yeah, people outside of the fitness model kind of world just don't really understand what we go through, and they think that we're crazy, and our family just think we're crazy, and yeah. So anyway, I talk more about that in other videos. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching this, and if you have any questions, leave them below in the comments. Subscribe to this channel if you like this video, if you like anything to do with fitness model competitions. This channel is pretty much dedicated to fitness model competitions, my journey, my fitness journey, also my adventures, scuba diving, flying, that kind of thing. So if you're a fitness model competitor and you want to share with me what you've learned during your journey, leave them in the comments below. I'm really curious. Create a little bit of a community here. Otherwise, like this video, and thank you so much for watching, and thanks again.